Hey guys, so I haven't been making videos this weekend because it's Thanksgiving and then I got really sick and I'm still really sick, so there probably won't be a video for a very long time. But that's not why I want to make this video. I just watched a video by Meekakitty talking about, actually hers was a video response to another girl whose name I forgot, then she talked about anxiety and panic attacks and also depression. So if you want to watch that video, it's right there. It's an annotation. And I just want to kind of give my take on my experience with not necessarily panic attacks, but just overall like anxiety and depression. So when I was in junior high, when I was 12 years old, my father committed suicide. And that really was the last straw for me, I think, because junior high in general sucked. It was or not junior high, but like 7th grade was the worst experience of my life. Me and my core group of friends were like 2 people who I'd known my whole life. Were like splitting up into different groups, and I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know how to make friends, like, because I had 2 friends and I went to a private school and like we hung out all the time, so I really didn't need to make friends, and I never really learned, so I was really alone already. I was the loner that hung out in the library, who was like best friends with the librarian, which I loved. Like, it was great, but every time I stepped outside the library, I would get made fun of or kicked or just ignored. I think that was the worst one, where like I almost wanted to go out and be ignored. Like, I thought it would be better, but really it really wasn't. I would just walk by everybody and nobody would look at me. It was like I was invisible, and it was horrifying. So, like, toward the end of the school year of 7th grade, I was in school, and my mom came to pick me up, and I was really excited, because I used to call her during, like, the lunch breaks and stuff, and I would cry to her, because I was so just depressed and upset and alone, and she called me, and she was like, "I'm coming to pick you up, we're gonna go have lunch," and I was so excited. Because she never did this. She never left work to come pick me up to do something fun. And so she picked me up and we went to go get Taco Bell. We were driving somewhere. But like, she stopped the car and then told me that my father that morning had shot himself. And I just remember my whole world collapsing on itself. And literally my head felt like it was spinning in a vortex, and I just couldn't see straight, and I couldn't breathe, and I felt so alone at that moment that it's really indescribable. I mean, I'm trying to describe it, but it feels like somebody has punched you in the chest and you cannot catch your breath, and your head is off in a million places, and when you look at things, you're not really seeing them, and you can't talk to anybody, and people are talking to you and you don't know what they're saying. They just look like blank faces, and it's really scary. And from then on, I mean, that summer was just awful. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I can't remember everything. I just remember being really depressed. Just awfully depressed. I could have just sat there with a blank face. I just stared at a wall. I just, yeah. So, once I got through and I made more friends at a new junior high, because I moved junior highs, thank God. And I got more friends. I became much better. I became less obsessed. I was still obsessed. I'm still obsessed with things, but not as bad. Like, totally not in the same arena as obsession. Still obsessed. So I grew, and I learned to live with it, and I was still sad inside, but I could like push it aside and not be depressed. But around, what was it, high school, about sophomore year or something, I fell into the depression again, and I just couldn't pull myself out. I went to school, I came home, I did homework, or I tried to anyway, and then I would just play mindlessly on the computer watching God knows what, and then reading fan fiction, which was a horrible addiction that I stopped today. And then I would like stay up till like 2 in the morning doing that, and then fall asleep or wake up at 6 and go back to school and rinse repeat. And it was really hard for me to get up in the morning and want to make friends or hang out with people, especially hanging out with people. Actually, now that I'm in, when I was like a freshman in college, which was like 2 years ago, it wasn't so much depression as it was wanting to be alone all the time. I didn't want to be around people, and it was because I was afraid of like doing something stupid that I would later come home and get into bed and sit there or lie there and think of all the horrible, like all the mistakes I made that night. And when I say mistakes, I don't mean like, oh, I ran a red light or I hit a little kid or, like a big thing. No, it was more like I said something stupid, or I sat next to the wrong person, or I was awkward, or, just like social things that I just couldn't control at all. And stuff that was not a big deal to anybody but me. So after a while, I just kind of, when my friends would invite me out to go to the movies, I would just say no, or that I was busy, or I would make an excuse to not see them. And that happened for a long time. And it took me a while to realize that if I wanted the life that I imagined for myself, like a girlfriend or a wife and some kids and a great group of friends and everything, I was going to have to work at it, and I was going to have to be around people, and that scared me, and I didn't like that interaction at all. So I set a goal for myself to really just, if I didn't want to go somewhere, I would really psych myself out and say, okay, you want to go, or try and get my friends to really push me. Like, I am lucky enough to have friends that like make me do things. I say like force me to get out of the house, to realize that I needed to get out. And so they pushed me, and then I pushed myself, and I just became more and more comfortable with it. So around that time, I watched a lot of Shay Tards, and Shay Carl really, like, he has these inspirational speeches, and it really, really taught me that other people's opinions really don't matter. It's only your own. And it really, really hit me like, okay, I need to change. I need to not think that way. I need to, just think about what I'm feeling and not what other people might be thinking. So I just slowly took it one day at a time, just thinking what I wanted to do, not what other people wanted me to do. And it was a very hard and slow process, and I still work on it every day. I think people with like social anxiety really have to work at it every day. But I can tell you from experience that it is worth it, and it is scary, and it is hard, but once you'll get to a point in this like recovery type stage where you'll look back and you'll just not feel anxiety. You'll just feel like a weight's been lifted off your chest, and you'll look back and just see the good times and regret a lot less. I mean, I still have regrets. Trust me, I've not gotten rid of that. I'm still working on it. But it just, you know, if you just let yourself go and just go with it, you know, and not worry about, just be there, you know. Don't worry about the consequences or what you'll think of later. Just be there in the moment, and it will get easier and easier as time goes on. So that was my long rant about depression and my experience with anxiety and my recovery type stages. So I hope this video was very helpful, and anxiety is definitely one of those things that I think everybody has at least one point in their life. And we really don't talk about it, and we really kind of just push it under the rug and just kind of live with it. But you really are missing out if you do. If you just ignore it and you don't deal with it and you don't grow as a person. And I think that's like the most important thing you can do is, so if there's something that is stopping you from becoming the person that you want to be, it is definitely worth it to try and work every day to become that person. And whether it's to stop cursing, to get rid of your anxiety, to talk to people more, to, I don't know, do your homework every day. It takes effort and work and just like repetition. Repetition is key. So I really hope this video has been informative and helpful. Be sure to check out Meekakitty's video, and Meekakitty actually links to another girl's video which I haven't watched, but make sure you watch them. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.